And some breaking inputs coming in on the Maharashtra political developments that are taking place. In a fresh development, we're told the MVA, the Maha Vikas Aghadi, has moved the top court with a fresh disqualification plea. It has moved the top court against the rebel MLAs, asking the top court to restrain the rebel MLAs against whom the disqualification proceedings are pending from participating in any of the assembly proceedings, which also includes the trust vote. This is coming in just a day before the assembly session has been called. That's tomorrow and day after. The MVA now has moved the top court against the rebel MLAs, asking the top court to restrain the rebel MLAs that are currently, in fact, in Goa, against whom the disqualification proceedings are pending from participating in any of the assembly proceedings. Remember that disqualification plea is still sub judice, and the MVA asking the top court to restrain these rebel MLAs against whom the disqualification proceedings are pending from participating in any of the assembly proceedings. Arvind joining us to make sense of this development. Arvind, tell us more.
Urvashi, the Uddhav Thackeray faction has again moved Supreme Court with a fresh petition against the 16 rebel MLAs against whom the disqualification proceedings are pending. In fact, they have told Supreme Court that the disqualification proceedings are still pending on the matter of sub judice before the Supreme Court. As an interim measure, they want the Supreme Court to suspend all the 16 rebel MLAs from the assembly as an interim measure. Second very important prayer that the Uddhav Thackeray faction asking the Supreme Court is to restrain all the 16 rebel MLAs from participating in any of the assembly proceedings. That also includes floor tests, because now Eknath Shinde has been sworn in as the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, and the governor in all probability has asked them to prove his majority on the floor of the House. So what we are being told is that a special assembly session is being called in Maharashtra, wherein Eknath Shinde is planning to prove his majority on the floor of the House. So as an interim measure, because the disqualification proceedings are still pending and also the matter is before the Supreme Court, now Uddhav Thackeray faction has again approached Supreme Court with a prayer asking Supreme Court to suspend all these 16 rebel MLAs against whom the disqualification proceedings are pending as an interim measure till the final decision on the disqualification proceedings are taken. And the second prayer is to restrain them from participating in any of the assembly proceedings, because their membership as a member of the assembly itself is under question, and that's why they have sought the Supreme Court's intervention again. And what we are being told is that somewhere around 10:30 a.m. They will be mentioning before the Supreme Court asking for an urgent hearing of this particular application.
We've seen how the top court really views this. MVA asking for an urgent hearing. Fresh plea they're being filed by the Uddhav Thackeray camp, asking that the top court restrain the rebel MLAs against whom the disqualification proceedings, as Arvind is saying, are still sub judice from participating in any of the assembly proceedings. A special assembly has been called in tomorrow in Maharashtra, and just ahead of that, the MVA now making a fresh move, moving the top court against the rebel MLAs, asking the top court to restrain these rebel MLAs from participating in the assembly proceedings. Arvind, thanks for getting us those updates.